along. My name is Katrine Kelly. For those of you that don't know me, I am one of the account managers at Artel, now Advanced Instruments. I've been with the company for about 20 years. And so I have a lot of experience with the PCS, and some of my customers that are on the line with us as well know me from years ago. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the slides. Like I said, I have about 24 slides. I will get through those pretty quickly, and then we'll go into the meat of the demonstration with the live demonstration. As I mentioned, if you do have questions, my colleagues are monitoring the chat, so please feel free to use that chat feature throughout the demonstration. So recently, as I mentioned, Artel was acquired by Advanced Instruments. Advanced Instruments is headquartered in Norwood, Massachusetts, and has been in business for over 65 years, where we have developed and manufactured osmometers and other analytical instruments. We are known globally in 90+ countries, and these products serve 3 core markets: biopharma, clinical, and food and beverage. Getting into the Artel product portfolio, Artel has been around since the 1980s. We are the global leader in liquid handling quality assurance. Our products and services provide standardized quality to our customers all over the world. Artel's technology is based on dual dye ratiometric photometry, and essentially what this means is that we're measuring the absorption difference between the blue of our blank vials and the varying concentrations of the range solutions or red dye. Our technology is NIST traceable from 5,000 microliters down to 0.1 microliters, and we specialize in low volume liquid verification with our product and service offerings. And Artel is a trusted partner, and we've always been very customer focused. Artel provides products and services that enable our customers to standardize their liquid handling quality assurance regardless of where they are in the world. With the PCS, you can be confident that your pipettes are accurate whether you're in Boston, Brussels, or Beijing. So this demonstration is focusing on the PCS instrument, but I did want to briefly show you the Artel MVS multi-channel verification system. It's used for automated liquid handlers and multi-channel pipettes. It's based on the same technology as the PCS and is also NIST traceable. In addition to these 2 great products, Artel offers liquid handling services. Our on-site service is customizable. We can quickly measure volume transfers using your liquid handling methods, tips, and reservoirs. And depending on the testing parameters, liquid types can be aqueous, DMSO, PCR mix, and more. And we also have an ISO 17025 accredited version of this service. And these services are for liquid handlers only. And finally, we offer pipetting technique certifications. We have 2 options for training. One where we come to you and train your staff on proper pipetting technique, and the other where you would come to Maine for a 2-day pipette quality management training. And this 2-day training is geared towards lab managers or supervisors looking to set up a quality management system in their lab. Artel helps a variety of industries maintain liquid handling quality and control and to standardize their liquid handling program across their instruments and their people. These are the industries that we serve. As you can see, we support liquid handling across a variety of industries, including forensics, clinical, pharma, liquid handling manufacturers, and so on. So many of our customers' concerns lie in the following areas: quality, meeting internal quality standards to ensure your data quality. Cost, improving liquid handling can reduce your costs. Compliance to ISO, CAP, CLIA, just to name a few. And time, your most valuable resources, your people and their time can be more available, and your workflows can become simpler and smoother. And finally, rework, reduce repeat testing and rework. And all of this can be done by removing sources of variability, and Artel can help you with that. So how do we help? Artel helps our customers with calibration of their automated liquid handlers and pipettes, both single and multi-channel. Our systems are used for interim volume verification for liquid handlers between assays and for pipette checks, whether it's a scheduled quick check or you've dropped a pipette, you can check it quickly using the PCS. Our systems are used to accelerate assay performance and validation. Our systems have been known to be used to evaluate new pipette manufacturers and tip types, particularly during the pandemic when there was a tip shortage. And training, using the operator assessment feature in the software, you can train new hires and do a pre and post assessment for them. Your staff can perform scheduled self-assessments to meet competency requirements. And if you're questioning the transfer from manual to automation, this is a great way to be sure that your manual pipetting is not in question. And all of this can be accomplished using the built-in competency assessment schedules within the software. So with the PCS, your results are traceable from 0.1 microliter up to 5,000 microliters. If you ever send your pipettes out for repair and maintenance, you can upload a PDF copy of your external reports and results to the software. And most recently, the software can integrate with balances to read volumes greater than 5 ml. The software allows for a digital review and workflow. The digital review and approval workflow means that the pipette owner will receive an email notification that a pipette is due for calibration. They then perform a calibration in the lab, and an email is sent to the reviewer that it's ready for review. The reviewer can then log into the software from their office and review and approve the calibrations remotely. Once the review is complete, the calibration label can then be printed. If the email notification is not set up for whatever reason, the reviewer can log into the software in the lab when the calibrations are ready to be reviewed, and those calibrations will be highlighted on the home screen for them. So the PCS does comply with ISO 8655-7-2022, 8-2022, and meets the QMS 23 requirements as well as ISO 17025, CGMP, and CGLP. You may have heard there were some changes to the ISO specification along with QMS 23. We did host a webinar regarding these changes. I think it was 2 years ago now. We do have a link to this webinar if you'd like to watch the changes and see those. The Compliance Suite add-on for ArtelWare allows our customers to be compliant with 21 CFR Part 11. You can schedule and manage operator trainings and assessments. The software utilizes a SQL database structure, and you may install the software locally on one computer or install the databases on a network location and access them from multiple computers from within the lab. So in addition to the standard PCS package, you can also add on additional features and hardware. We offer a system validation, installation, and training package to validate and do an IQ, OQ of the system on site. If your system is going to be shared across multiple facilities, you may want to consider purchasing a travel case. It is a hard side case with wheels and a handle. If you would prefer to have the software pre-installed on an Artel laptop, we can certainly provide that service to you prior to shipping, or we can come on site and perform that complete installation IQ, OQ that I mentioned. We also have annual instrument service and support options, and the optional Compliance Suite package offers essential features for facilities that maintain compliance with Title 21 CFR Part 11. That includes audit trail, user authentication, e-signatures, and versioning of calibration and training plans. So operation of the PCS is designed to be very simple. You insert a blank vial into the PCS instrument, close the lid, and the PCS then takes an initial absorption reading at 730 nanometers. Next, you pipette the QualiSure solution or the red dye into the blank vial. The instrument and close the lid, sorry, and then the PCS will mix the two solutions together. It has a Vortex Mixer. And then finally, the instrument takes a second reading at 520 nanometers and provides you with the absorption difference or the results. And those calculations are completed automatically for you. The software comes with an easy, logical dashboard feature for setting up your inventory. The Get Started bar walks you through everything you need to do to set up your inventory for the first time. You can customize the home screen based upon the user login, so everyone can have their own customized home screen when they log in. You can set up the due bar to show just things that are due within a certain time frame or location, or if you're the owner of the pipette, you can set that due bar to just show the pipettes that you're the owner of. Email notifications can be sent during the following times: when a pipette is due, when operator assessments are due, when calibrations need review, and when calibration schedules have been edited. And these are examples of those email notifications. So the software comes with comprehensive reporting. To the right is an example of a pipette calibration report. You can customize those reports to edit the calibration report title and the footer. You can insert your own logo and address information in the footer. You can also insert your accreditation logo if you are accredited. And you can customize the barcode and calibration labels. The pipette barcode ID label can be customized to include or exclude the owner and location. And the calibration label can be customized to include or exclude the operator, the status, or the next due date. And those date fields, the format can also be changed. So the software comes with additional reporting functions for inventory. You can export and print your device inventory with the next due dates in Excel or PDF format. So why the PCS? The PCS can be used in any environment. It can be used on any bench, eliminating the need for an expensive marble table. It can be packed up and used in different locations. We even have a travel case that you can purchase with cutouts for each of the components. It does not require a special room with temperature and humidity control to be used. And you can calibrate your pipettes in the environment in which they are used, so you have greater confidence in your results. So the PCS system comes complete with everything that you see here: the PCS instrument, the ArtelWare software, the laptop computer, the Brother label printer that allows you to print those barcode ID labels and calibration labels. It also includes startup reagents and an instrument calibrator kit. The startup reagents are the bulk reagent kit. That's 50 blank vials, and we can customize ranges 1 through 4 to meet your needs. The instrument will also come with ranges 5 and 6. Those are normally separate line items, so after the initial purchase, if you need 5 and 6, those will need to be called out on your purchase order. We also offer a standard reagent kit, which includes 12 blank vials and 1 each of ranges 1 through 4. The system also has an online pre-recorded training, a quick start guide, and a welcome package. Well, like I said before, if you do have questions, my colleagues are there to answer them. They're checking the chat as we go along. So this is what the home screen of ArtelWare software looks like. You can see we have the Get Started bar that was mentioned during the presentation, the due bar that shows you what's coming due for your instrument, which would be your PCS, your pipettes, if you have any operator assessments that are coming due, if your own self-assessment is due, it will highlight that for you on the home screen. So we'll go ahead and just quickly go through the Get Started bar. The first thing that you'll do is you'll activate your instrument calibrator kit by scanning a barcode. So that's the first thing that you'll do. Then you can start adding in your users. Users will do require full name and email address. And this drop down for initial group is what's going to set the permissions within the software. So administrators have access to everything in the software. Operators only have permission to calibrate the instrument and pipettes. So they can't add new pipettes or set up calibration plans or anything like that. So you can really lock down or open up the software however you need for your use. You'll enter in a username and a password. Password will need to be changed once they log in for the first time, and the other fields are optional. So going back to the home screen and that Get Started bar, the next thing you'll do is you'll add in a location. You will need to add in at least one location. You can add in multiple locations if you have different departments or rooms that are using it. And then you'll add your PCS instrument. If you are using the MVS, it does utilize the same software program, so you can add in your MVS instrument as well. And as I mentioned, if you are connecting the software to a balance for volumes greater than 5 mLs, you would add your balance to the software here. As long as the balance has a SICS protocol, that's SICS, it will communicate with the software. Most of the newer balances that have come out in the last 10 or so years are compatible with that SICS protocol. And then you'll add your pipettes into the software. So to add a pipette, you'll click this little square with the 3 dots, the ellipsis over here. And once you click that, it brings up a list of pipette models in manufacturers that are already preloaded into the software for you. So you can see we have multiple manufacturers in here. So you'll select the manufacturer for your pipette that you have. And once you do that, the models for all of the pipettes that that manufacturer makes appear in the list. Now you can sort this list by any of the columns. I usually sort by the min or max volume. So today I have a 50 to 200 microliter pipette. So I'm going to quickly scroll down, sorry, to my 50. So it's a 50 to 200 variable volume pipette, single channel. See if I can find it. There we go. And it is a reference pipette. So once I find my pipette, I select it and then click OK. And as soon as I click OK, ISO device type, channels, and volume range are automatically filled in for me. Next, you'll give it a unique pipette ID. Description and serial number fields are optional. You'll select your location from your list that you previously entered, and then you'll select your owner. Now, the owner of the pipette is the person that will receive email notifications that the pipette is due. They do not have to be the person that actually performs the calibration, though. So then you'll select Save. I do have the add-on compliance suite, which is why it's asking me for an audit comment. And click OK. So now I have all of my pipettes entered into the software. The next thing I need to do is set up a pipette calibration plan. Now, if you're setting up liquid handlers, you would set up a liquid handler verification plan for the MVS. If you're setting up operator assessments, you need to tell the software what your operator assessment is going to look like. So the plan is number of data points and tolerance limits. So any of these plans, that's essentially what it's going to be broken down to, is how many data points are you taking and what are your tolerance limits per volume or based on the volume going to be. So that's for all 3 of these plan types. So I'm going to select the pipette calibration. There we go. And then I'll enter in a unique name for my calibration plan. And for today's purposes for the demonstration and to keep it brief, I'm going to do a 4 data point quick check. So I'm going to change my replicates or data points to 4. And then I'll click on my tolerances tab. I'm going to select user defined. However, if you need to meet manufacturer specifications or ISO, now there's 2 ISO specs in here. There's 8655-2022, which is the newest one. And then there's 8655-2002 if you need to meet those specifications. So for user defined, I need to enter in my target volume and my inaccuracy and imprecision. So I have my pipette. Let me just double check the volume. I have it at 200 microliters. And then my inaccuracy is 2% and my tolerance will be 1%. Now, if I were going to also calibrate this pipette at the mid and low volumes, then I would also enter those in here. Just like that. So all 3 volumes, if I entered them in, will appear on the same report. And then once you have all of your volumes and tolerance limits entered in, you'll click Approve and enter in your credentials. All right, so now I've told the software my pipettes and my plans. Now I just need to create a pipette schedule. Again, under the schedules, you can do an operator assessment schedule. So if you're using it for assessments, this is where you would do that. Give it a unique name. And I'm going to change my repeats from never to months, and we'll do this every 6 months. And then I'll click the plus sign to add my pipette and my calibration plan. So you can filter the pipettes here by the, I'm going to do the ID and find the pipette I just did. Same thing with calibration plans. So you're not sorting through a bunch, you can filter. So there's my pipette, there's my plan, my target volume is 200, my inaccuracy is 2%, my imprecision is 1%. I can change the first due date. If it's not due until the end of the month, I can put that in there and then click OK. Did not add it. Oh, there it is. You can add more than one pipette to the schedule. You can also add multiple pipettes at one time as long as the pipettes are all of the same volume. And then enter in an audit comment and then click OK. Okay, so now I've got my everything, all my inventory is entered in. At this time, I can start performing my calibrations. So I'm going to click on my due bar for my pipette that's due. So I have 21 pipettes that are due. There's the pipette that I just entered in. To start the calibration, I just select the pipette and click Start Calibration and select Artel PCS and click OK. Now at this time, I'm going to change my camera over so that you can see the PCS instrument. All right, so you should see the PCS instrument on the counter and the barcode scanner is lit up on the side here. So it does have an integrated barcode scanner. And the software is telling me to please scan QualiSure 1 bottle. So there's my range 1 right there. It has a barcode on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and scan that. So this line right here in the software is kind of your command line. It tells you what to do next, lets you know that it's waiting. So now it's saying, please scan reagent Cal A. So here's my Cal A vial. It's clear vial, has a barcode on the side. Now the Cal A vial is used to zero the instrument at the start of the day when you first start the instrument on. It will also request a Cal A vial if it's been plus or minus or detects a difference in temperature of plus or minus 2 degrees. It will also request that Cal A vial if it's been more than 8 hours since the last Cal A reading. Now you'll notice on that little command line, it's saying it's equilibrating the vial. The vial is 25 and the instrument temperature is 29. So the instrument, it will self-equilibrate these vials. So you just have to wait for it to equilibrate. It only takes a few minutes and then it will, the lid will open when it's ready. While we have a second, while it's equilibrating that vial, are there any questions? None so far. Okay. All right, so there you go. It only took a few seconds for it to equilibrate. Now we're ready to go. Now it's telling me to scan the blank vial. This is what the blank vial looks like. It has a predetermined amount of blue solution in the vial. barcode scanner or barcode on the side there. So I go ahead and scan that. Now I'm going to use a lint-free cloth that I can hold on to the bottom of the vial with. This is so I don't get any fingerprints or smudges or anything on the lower half. We don't want anything getting into the optical path. And you insert the vial, remove the cap, and close the lid. Now remember from the slides, it's going to take an initial reading at 730 nanometers. So it's kind of like a baseline read. I'm going to pour some of my range 1 into my aliquot. And now it's ready for my first data point. Before I do take that first data point, I am going to pre-wet my tip. Okay. And now it's ready for my first data point. So I'm going to dispense right into the vial in the instrument. And I just touch the side of the instrument to close the lid. As soon as I close the lid, that Vortex Mixer is going to mix those two solutions together, and then it will take a second reading at 520 nanometers. After each dispense, you'll see the volume on the screen, and it will update the imprecision and inaccuracy after the second data point. Now, I do want to call your attention to the right-hand side of the screen over here. There's two buttons that are grayed out. They're not available to me right now. For my next data point, I am going to over-deliver. So I'm going to depress the plunger down to the second stop to aspirate. And then I'm going to intentionally over-deliver so you can see what happens when there's a failure. So as soon as it took that reading, it recognized immediately that I'm over-delivering by quite a bit, and my indicators on the screen turn red. So visually, it lets you know right away that you've done something wrong. Now I'm going to go ahead and dispense my fourth and final data point. Pay attention to the right-hand side of the screen again for those two options that are still grayed out. Once I dispense my fourth and final data point, so it's still red. I still have this data point right here, but now that I've taken all of the samples, now these buttons over here to the right are available to me. So I'm going to select that data point that I know I over-delivered on, and I'm going to click on Redo Replicate. As soon as I do that, this window appears, and it tells me I have to enter in a comment or a reason for the redo. I'll enter that in. And click OK. And then it immediately says, okay, redo that sample. So I'm going to go ahead and dispense another sample. And so then next it will recalculate, removing that data point that I over aspirated from, and just base statistics on the 4 good samples. You can see it's gone back to green. I'm within my tolerance limits for my inaccuracy and imprecision. If I did have the calibration plan set up to do another volume, there would be a button down here to the right that would say next volume, and you would click next volume. At this time, I can record environmental conditions, humidity, and pressure. If I need to do that, I can also record that pipette tip information. So again, if you're evaluating different pipette tips, this is where you would enter that in, and I can enter in an overall comment. And then once everything is entered in, you'll click Finish. And again, I have the compliance suite, so I need to sign off on my results. And click OK. Entered it in a little too quickly. There we go. And then I select who I want to send the notification that it's ready for review. I have 2 users selected, or I can choose send to all, which will send it to everyone that has review permissions. So this is what the calibration report looks like. You can see it says at the top it passed. So it does give you a pass or fail result based upon your calibration plan. There's the pipette ID and the model. And then if you scroll down a little bit, your statistics are right here. And then each of the data points are on the report, as well as the one that we redid and that reason for the redo. All of the solutions that I scanned in during the calibration process are on the report. There's my overall operator comment. This is the information about the PCS instrument. And this is about the compliance over here. And then you can see the operator has signed off, but I still need a reviewer signature, and the approval status is pending for approval. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the home screen. I'm going to log out as the PCS admin, and I'm going to log in as an approver now, so I can show you that review process. Okay, so now I'm logged in as a reviewer. You can see on the home screen, it does highlight anything that's ready for review right here. So go ahead and click on that. I have 2 calibrations that need to be reviewed. There's my calibration that I just did, and it says pending. I click on View Report. Everything looks exactly the same. It still says pending for approval. At the top, I have 2 options. I can click the green check mark to approve the calibration, or the red X to reject it. So I'll click on the green check mark and enter in my credentials. And then over here, you can see it says print label is checked off right there. So as soon as I click sign, it will automatically send the calibration label to the printer that's right next to the PCS instrument there. So it's printing the label. It should pop out here in just a moment. And there is my, again, my calibration report right here. So I'll scroll down. So you can see there is the reviewer signature, and the approval status is approved. It even has that reviewer comment, calibration approved. Now, at this point, I can leave the report here in the software. It will be stored in the software. I can also export this report to PDF, Word, or Excel. And I can also print a full 8.5 by 11 printout of this calibration report. Now, just to go over a couple more features, some of my favorite features. I know we talked about the labels, so I'll show you really quick the calibration label. I know it's a little hard to see, but that's what they look like. You can just peel this off and it will stick to the pipette. We also have the barcode ID labels. So this is what the barcode ID label looks like, same idea. And on the home screen, there's the shortcuts bar. I love the shortcuts bar. You can scan barcode. It's one of my favorite features. If you go ahead and click on scan barcode, you'll notice that the barcode scanner lit up. If I scan my pipette, this window appears right here. So this is one of my favorite features just because I think it's a time saver. So let's say you have 10 or 20 pipettes on the counter that need to be calibrated. Instead of sorting through a long list of pipettes in your inventory, you can scan the barcode on the side and just click on Perform Scheduled Calibration. Again, if you're being audited and an auditor picks up a pipette and says, show me the calibration reports for this pipette, you scan that label and click on View Results, and it will bring you to a report listing. So if you have multiple pipettes or calibrations for that particular pipette in the software, they will all appear in this list right here, and you can select the report and just click on View Report, and it will display it for your auditor. So that's all that I had to show you. I'm going to check the chat. I do think there's a question in there. So there's a couple here. If we didn't purchase the label printer with the original package, is there a way to print labels to a separate printer? So it looks like Adrian did answer that. So you can purchase the label printer separately through us. It is the software, and those labels are formatted for the brother printer specifically. Can the information on the labels be formatted? So the labels can be they can be formatted. Let me go into the lab policy settings here. So the labels can be formatted to include or exclude the device owner or the location. So you can add those. Same thing with the calibration labels. You can format them to include or exclude certain things. You can also format the date format, but that is the only formatting that you can do for those labels. You cannot go in and manually override the information that will appear on those labels. So the information that's going to appear on the labels is taken from the way that it was initially entered in. So your users, your location, your device, that is the information that's going to appear on the label. You can't go in later and manually change those labels.